What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 12 of the Chicken Pod Podcast. My name is Michael Smith.
And my name is Devilman Crybaby.
And welcome back to the Chicken Pod Podcast. So, the last time we left off, we had 3 anime left on our list, and now we only have 2. So now, we are going to be deciding which one of these 2 anime are going to be Tournament of the Year. And before I even jump into this thing, I actually do have a quick question. I do this like at the end of every tournament. How did you feel about this tournament personally compared to the last 2 tournaments we did?
I might have to say this tournament might have been weaker than the first tournament, to be honest. I mean, it was just kind of awful. I'll say that.
Awful. Ooh. I'm actually like you. So you're saying you would consider it like the worst in tournament 1, even with all the awful anime you got from the first tournament? You'd still say this was the worst one?
Actually, when you put it that way, I'd say they're about
equal.
No. This anime won by like a landslide.
Okay.
But just a landslide by default.
Oh yeah. Because to be fair, the anime had beforehand wasn't like awful, but like I do remember in tournament 1 where you brought up every single anime right off the bat. You was just like, so I had this dog anime, and then this other anime, and then you brought up these other anime. You just felt disappointed with each anime you talked about besides ID Invader, which is funny because ID Invader didn't even win that tournament. Like Doro Hedro, the one that like you didn't like, was on it. And the thing that also made me feel like that was the worst tournament, that was still the worst tournament, was because, well, for me, it was still like, I still prefer tournament 1 over this tournament, because for me, I do think this one was the weakest, at least for me, considering all of the anime I had was just, like, some started out good, but then, like, I got in the later episodes, and I'm just like, what happened? This ain't the same anime. And it's like, it just felt somewhat like a disappointment, but I at least got something out of 1, which I'm going to talk about in this podcast, but to each his own, it's fine. But what I did want to bring up is I do remember in tournament 1, it's still the one time where we had to get rid of 2, because I somewhat felt bad when I was just like, all right, we got to take away 1 anime. They was just like, wait, I can only eliminate 1? I can't eliminate 2. So I was like, all right, fine, we can eliminate 2 for this one time, but like, the last one I changed it up and like whatnot, but like this time, this is the last tournament, and then afterwards we'll have to deal with these anime ever again, and we can jump on to 5 new anime. So just think of it that way. Think of it, that's the bright side to this. I do definitely think that next tournament is going to be a lot much better. I just feel it. It's going to be a lot much better than this tournament. But anyway, why don't you start us off, Tavon, with your first anime?
All right, so this first anime is called Megalo Box, and where we left off the last time, it was Joe. He was sitting in the middle of the hallway, and he was knocked out because they found out Yuri, the guy he was supposed to fight in the ring to get into Megalonia, he found out that he faked his ID. So pretty much gonna skip ahead to where we left off now. So pretty much what was going on now was Joe and his manager was arguing about like, why did you stop him from going in the ring? And he was telling him that he was playing into his hands. If he would have hit him, he would have been playing right to his trap. So that was when they pretty much went to go talk to, the guy from the underground area. When I told you in the beginning that when Joe didn't throw his match, he got mad.
Oh, okay.
He was and you heard a bunch of screaming in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he was talking to that guy, and he was telling him that, yeah, man, if you've been set up, you don't understand. You gotta listen to us, man. You gotta let us go, man. He was like, all right, this is your last chance. That's pretty much what he was telling him. He was pretty much trying to tell him that Yuri didn't know that his ID was fake at all, because you have to look at the ID very, very closely to even notice. So they pretty much fell for his trap when they took the bait, and they were like, oh, okay, we gotta fix this somehow. So pretty much they dug up dirt on Yuri and like discovered like what his past says, just to like counterattack him pretty much. And then that was when they pretty much just found out that he was supposed to be like the next heir of some big company or whatever, but it didn't work out. His sister took over, which was the manager of the other guy with the hood. Yeah. So anyway, that was when the manager took it upon himself to talked to the other manager to give them another chance to fight Yuri. And that was when she was like, why should I give you guys another chance when you guys ran away from the ring? And then he said, he had some dirt on us you don't understand. It's something that can't shed the light of day. And then that was when as she was walking away, he was like, all right, I'll tell you. So we forged our identity. We just couldn't let it get the light of day. So if you don't let us in, well, I guess we're both going down. It's not just me, but the both of us. She was like, all right, that's fine. And then she just locked him the door and left him inside there by himself. I was like, all right. So after that was when she pretty much just start the. She was going to finally announce Yuri as the next the guy to enter Megalonia since Joe was disqualified. And that was when Joe showed up, and the security guards pretty much tried to stop him. And then he was like, are you really going to let this go? And she was like, all right, fine, I'll give you another chance. So it's pretty much Joe versus Yuri. Mm-hmm. And how this fight went was, you know that thing that Cyborg had from Teen Titans when he had that little 100% meter for his arm?
Oh, yeah.
That new gear. Yeah, it was something similar along those lines.
Oh,
okay. Because the guy, he had some new high-tech gear.
Oh.
And it was actually interesting how this fight was going because the whole beginning of the fight, Joe was pretty much like on the losing end. He was getting all bloody and beat up with his gear. And his gear was only at, 80%? Because he was losing. Yeah, so he was pretty much losing at the beginning of the fight. And then he, stood up and he got knocked outside of the ring. And they were, doing a count to, 8. And he got up again. And he was like, is that all you got? With these punches, you think you can beat me? And that was pretty much what Joe said to the other guy. And then that was when he kind of started getting mad at Joe, and he started fighting him harder. And then after that was when they pretty much took a break from that round, and then they got back in the ring again. And this time, Joe, he was kind of really, really tired and worn out. So that was when he didn't have a guard up this time at all. The whole round, he didn't have his guard up. And it was actually interesting because it looked like he was it was like Ultra Instinct, watching Ultra Instinct all over again because he literally didn't have his guard up at all. He was just dodge. He was dodging all those moves and whatnot. And I was like, okay. And then Joe was pretty much trying to tell him, see, you rely on that gear too much. That's why you can't decide to do the finishing blow. So then after that, the guy, he was pretty much irritated and whatnot. And they went to the final round. And then that was when Joe had won. And it was like, all right. So at the end of it, it wasn't you're right, man. I'm sorry. It wasn't like that. But it was he was like, all right, yeah, you're right. Yes, I was relying on my gear. I admit, you were better. So he pretty much left the ring. And then after that, so we had this next fight that Joe had to do. And this is when things went downhill for the anime.
Okay.
Because, so we came out, and we had this nice entrance playing. It was coming to the ring. It's Joe, gearless Joe. I was like, all right, playing this thing. So he came out, and then when he came out, he was walking. And I was like, what is he doing? Why is he wearing gear? And he was wearing that gear he wore at the beginning of the series, the very, very beginning. Think of it like that level 1 gear you get at the beginning of the game. He was wearing that for some reason. And he had this earpiece in his ear, and I was wondering, why does he have the earpiece in his ear? So he gets in the ring, and then they pretty much revert back to their old ways of when they were trying to throw the fight. And that was pretty much what the manager was pretty much telling him to throw the fight and whatnot. And I really wasn't feeling this at all. And then what made it worse was he was against this guy who he looked like a final boss, and he actually intrigued me. So I was like, I never heard this guy talk the whole series. And then when we finally hear him talk, you think you can beat me? Come on, let's go. I'm like, huh?
It was like a country accent. It was like a southern drawl.
It sounded like that. Some country guy was like, I'm not feeling this.
You think you can beat me? This is my country, old boy. Huh?
And then pretty much the manager of Joe, he was trying to tell him to throw the fight. Because remember that thing I told you about that guy in the underground? They're pretty much in debt and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So this was their last chance to get out of it. So I feel the problem they made with this was that they did this too late in the series. They were like, if he was already fighting gearless, why are we bringing this in now? You know what I'm saying? So that was when pretty much, what made it even worse was the kid. He kind of like ran off crying. He was like, I'm done with those guys. And then he was in the park by himself. And then that was when things got quiet. He was like, his name is Joe, and he's my hero. Huh? All right, fast forward. I had to fast forward there. I was like, nah, I'm not watching this.
His name is Joe, and he's our hero.
I couldn't get it.
No.
So then, what made it worse was he decided to come back to the ring, and he was like, come on, Joe. You can do it. I believe in you, man. Come on, Joe. I was like, all right. But,
yeah, get him, Phantom Thief.
but what made it, I don't think that made it better was when they got, the guy in the hood he met at the beginning of the series. He came down to the ring and he was like, what are you doing? Don't mess with my expectations. And that was when he Joe pretty much won the fight right there.
Oh, okay.
And then at the end of it, he ran up to go meet his manager, who was in a brawl in the room with the guy in the underground. And he pretty much gave up his eye, his other eye, just so he could leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
So he was completely blind now. But I mean, he cut ties with the underground world completely now. So that was when pretty much they got to, before we get to the final fight, the guy in the hood I was telling you about at the beginning, he said he was he got surgery on both of his arms, because it turns out that gear was surgically attached to his body. And I didn't know that. So he got his gear removed, and then that was when he was like pretty much in a lot of pain for a while, and he was like pretty much got locked underground. Not like trapped, but he like did it on purpose. So he was like screaming like, oh, it hurts. Ah! He was like doing all that screaming and whatnot. So then, pretty much, anyway, we're just going to skip ahead after that. And that was when we pretty much got to the fight with him, one-on-one with Joe. And the fight really wasn't what I was expected to be, because at the beginning of the match, it was already like, all right, we're in the fourth round, guys. It was like, huh? They just skipped the fights. Huh? They were like pretty much just skipping around the fights. We're like, all right, you're in the fourth round. And they were like going at it and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, all right, guys, we're in the 12th round here. Huh? And then that was when he was like, they did like this anime cliche thing, when Naruto's like, Sasuke, Naruto.
Oh,
that little pinch thing. He was like, Joe, Yuri. After that, they pretty much like ended it right there. But anyway, Joe won the fight, but it was just so unsatisfying. It was like,
yeah.
All right, yeah, that's it. That was it.
That was the last part of the anime?
I mean, the last part was pretty much, it went like a white screen after the fight, and they pretty much said, yeah. So you know the results, right? Yep. And that was when he was pretty much like picking up some gear from the store for like kids, like some boxing gear for kids, and it just pretty much ended right there.
Huh. Okay. So how do you feel about, from everything you've seen so far? I kind of already have an idea, but how would you say you feel about the anime from where it was at the beginning to how it ended? Would you say it felt like a satisfying ending, or would you say it could have been a lot better?
I really felt like it could have been a lot better if they would have just took the loner route, like I said before, because I really wasn't feeling it from the underground guy showing up out of nowhere. And he came in because he was like doing all these amazing fights with like no gear, and then all of a sudden he comes in
with gear
in this one fight. I'm just like, it's like if they took Vegeta, he came in with Scouter and the Majin Buu Saki. He was like, yeah,
I'm like, what?
I work for Frieza, huh?
Yeah. Oh, nah.
So I really wasn't feeling it. And then the guy he was fighting, you think you can fight me? Come on. All right.
Come on. What the? Fighting Goofy? All right. Okay. So what would you probably say was, so far, what would you probably say was the best fight in the series from what you saw so far?
The fight he had with that one guy who I said kind of reminded me of the cyborg from Teen Titans when he had that 100% gear.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
And I'll say when he fought the guy in the hood at the very, very beginning of the episode. Like episode 2 was when it was at its best.
Oh, okay.
Because the last fight was just disappointing. They just kind of skipped around.
Yeah. We at episode 4, man, then you hear the crowd, man, that beginning was amazing. I didn't see the beginning. All right. Okay. The soundtrack's still awful.
Oh, yeah, it was still awful.
Still just, all right. Got you. All right. So all in all, from now that you've seen the entire series so far, what would you probably give it from 1 to 10?
I might give it about a 5 or 6. I might go with that 5.
Oh wow, a 5. From that 8 you gave it before? Wow, it definitely went down.
Especially what did it for me was that kid who was like singing, his name is Joe. He's my. I was like, all right, skip. I ain't watching this.
I can't. All right. Well, yeah. I don't think I got any questions after that. Yeah, you basically summed everything up. Guess I'll go with my next anime now. All right, and speaking of my next anime, oh, Jesus, yeah, I have no choice but to talk about Darling in the Franxx first, because if I talk about the other anime before this one, you're just gonna talk afterwards anyway. It's just gonna be like, all right, so this is my anime. All right, your next table, huh? It'll basically be like, I sit 2 minutes and then it's basically back to you again. I was like, nah, I want to give you a briefer, so I'm gonna talk about this other anime. So it's got a lot more to talk about with this one. All right. So this anime I talked about before is Darling in the Franxx, and it's basically that anime I talked about with it's basically the mecha anime where you have the mechs that are only piloted by females and humans and whatnot. Not females, females and humans, because females are humans. Those females and males, basically, just like guys and females, basically. So the last time I left off, we had. What was the last part I left off? It was around the point where I was talking about Zero Two and Ichigo, not 02 and Ichigo, 02 and Hero, and how they was piloting together, and how you found out that every single person that 02 has piloted with has ended up getting killed. They always end up getting killed by 2 or 3 missions and whatnot. And Hero is one of the few people that actually went in the mech with 02 and actually didn't get killed by it. He got badly injured by it, but he still was able to live from it and kept up with it and was able to last more than 3 missions for the first time ever compared to anyone else. And then there was that other scene where 02 was talking to Ichigo, this other girl who's the leader of Squad 13, who was in love with Hero and whatnot, and she's basically telling 02 to stay away from Ichigo, and then slaps 02, and then her 02's bracelet fell off with these, and she has horns on her head. And the bracelet is connected to the horns, and when the bracelet falls off of the horns, that's when I told you that scene that gave me chills came on, and she was just human, what is human to you? And I was like, oh shit! And I just thought she was gonna kill Ichigo right there, but then she just walked off, and Ichigo looked scared to death, she peed herself. And then after that, we're getting to the present day now. We're getting to the stuff that I haven't talked about now. So we get to. Before that, and believe me, I'm telling you right now, I cut a lot of this stuff out considering the fact that there was a lot to talk about. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to talk about season 2, and I apologize for why I said maybe you can talk about season 2 or whatnot. Nah, there was way too much to talk about considering all the stuff that happens in this anime, which is a good thing considering the other one I have not much to talk about. So anyway, we're going to get to the stuff, the main stuff anyway. We get to where do I want to start off here? Okay. We get to Ichigo and her partner, not Hero, Goro. This is this other person that Ichigo works with, who has been her partner for the longest time and whatnot. And Goro is actually a pretty chill person. This is where we actually get more character development for this character and whatnot. All we knew about him was that he was Ichigo's partner, and that was it. And he's basically one that was became Ichigo's partner after Hero was basically lost his pilot license and whatnot. And during this time, he's talking more and more, and he just realized that he's in love with Ichigo and whatnot, and he was somewhat jealous over the fact that Hero gets all that love and attention from Ichigo, and he wished he could do a lot more and whatnot. And then I'm gonna go skip ahead and whatnot. We get to, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it comes back later on, but basically we get this point where Goro confesses to Ichigo and says that he This hit me. This hit me more than anything else has hit me before. Where like Goro goes and confesses to Ichigo and whatnot. And he basically has a huge confession. And also before this, he also sacrificed himself to blow up. He like blew up his mech and threw Ichigo out of the mech before she could do anything crazy, and threw her out of the mech and legit blew up this mech to kill this like monster and whatnot. And we all thought Goro was dead at first, but then Goro comes out and like Ichigo's like, oh my god, I thought you were dead. And then like after like Goro comes out of it, she basically says like, I have something to tell you, Ichigo. I love you. I always have. Please be my everything. And then Ichigo says this, oh, I have something to tell you too. Thank you for being a great partner and a great friend. Huh? I felt so bad. I was like, oh, nah. At that point, I'd be like, and the thing is, like, I don't even like, oh, believe me, Ichigo gets even worse later on. But the thing is, like, if I was a girl, I'd be like, man, you can go. There's like, because the thing is, there's a bunch of other females in Squad 13. Go for anyone else. Just don't waste your time on her. She ain't worth it, man. Especially after that confession. I have something to say to you, too. Thank you for being a great partner. Oh, okay. But anyway, we get to the main so now. This is where we get to like the real main story of the stuff. I only had to bring it out because like it comes back later on, but we get to this moment where 02 in where Squad 13 actually is they're getting a medal for being rewarded for taking out all of these mechs and whatnot. They're finally getting rewarded for like taking out all of these mechs and whatnot. And during this time, because they getting rewarded for it, their reward is that they can go out into the city now. And 02 is like very like kind of like timid about it because she doesn't like the city, because like she's like been through a lot of like bad stuff, because like all the adults live in the city, all the kids like live in this like little area where like they like do mech training and whatnot, but all the adults live in the city and whatnot. And they go inside the city and they're like checking around, they're like, oh, this is amazing, where are all the adults? Like you don't see any other adults except for like the ones that, like present them the medals, which are like 6 of them. But you don't really see any other like adults like hanging around and whatnot. You're just like kind of confused, like where are they and whatnot. And 02 just kind of timid, and she's just like, I don't want to be here and whatnot. And she starts like she like walks away and whatnot. And then later on, you just see like 02 is a little more timid, and you're wondering what's going on and whatnot. And then there's this moment where like they're like saying like, oh, it's time for testing, everyone. And like everyone gets like tested. It's like they're like usual checkup they have and whatnot. But the only reason they're even having this checkup is because the authority figures of like the main head of like the mech group wants to like check on 02 and whatnot. They like test on her and whatnot. And after they like test on 02, she comes back and the horns on her head are even bigger. And like she just starts to look even more savage looking. Like you see like the horns on her hair are like bigger now. Her like hands have her like nails are sharper, and like her eyes like red now, almost like she's becoming more and more like a demon. And she's like kind of becoming this like she's kind of like not scared of herself, but she's kind of like starting to hate herself. And now like this is when she becomes like more and more crazy and whatnot. And she like doesn't even want to see herself in the mirror. She's just like, no, I'm not a demon. I have to kill more monsters. I have to kill more monsters and now become more human. And then like we get later on. I'm actually skipping a lot of stuff. Believe me, most of the stuff really doesn't matter. And then we get to this next part where we get 02 talking to this other squad called Special Force 9, which is like the highest ranking squad in the mech ranks. And this caught me off guard because Special Force 9 actually looks like a legitimate squad and whatnot. But what catches me off guard is the leader of Special 9 is voiced by Izuku Midoriya, Deku. And what catches me off guard even more is that I'm like literally hearing him, he actually becomes like one of my favorite characters, because I'm just like, if Deku actually turned, like, think of it this way, if Deku actually turned heel and like did something where he like, I don't know, like came off as more like cocky and more like self-centered and whatnot, he could actually make it work. Because like, I don't know how, like at first when I heard his voice, I was just like, oh no, this is Deku, like why is he voiced it? This doesn't fit at all. But then like the more and more he started like talking and whatnot, he somewhat started reminding me of someone like Akechi in a way. Not Akechi, yeah, Akechi from Persona 5, where he was more like kind of sadistic and just like talk like he was like the only one that was able to like get under like Zero Two's skin and whatnot, where she was just like, oh, hey Zero Two, long time no see. Still ran away from your past, I see. Typical dog you are. You're nothing but a demon anyway. And like like for some reason she has had like this off about where like this like snarky cockiness to him that I never saw, where I'm just like, dude, if Deku had this is my hero, I'd probably like him more as a character. I was like, where is this? Like, obviously the actor can do this. I'm just like, we don't really get this for that, man. Like, anyway, I'm just gonna skip over. I just want to bring him up because he like caught me off guard. But then like we get like later on, basically like Zero Two's getting more and more crazy, and you realize that Zero Two's becoming more and more like a demon and whatnot. And during this time, Zero Two is just like breaking every mirror she sees and whatnot. And now like Hero was trying to like calm her down and whatnot. She's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, no matter what you do, like, and he's basically like, at this point, like, at first he tried to calm Zero Two down, but now he's just like lashing out at Zero Two because now she's getting reckless. Like, she like piloted the mech with Zero Two one time, and now like he's like seeing like he's starting to lose control of Zero Two while piloting the mech now. So now he like had to like stop the mech. So like, no, what the hell are you doing? No, you need to stop, Zero Two. What the hell's wrong with you? Killing all these monsters isn't going to make you more human. And Zero Two doesn't want to hear it. She's just like, shut up. And she just doesn't want to listen to it. And then out of nowhere, he grabs Zero Two and just says like, talk to me, tell me what's going on. And then like out of nowhere, the demon inside of Zero Two comes out of her body and starts choking out Hero. I'm just like, it like catches me off guard. Could just like, it's like I didn't expect that at all. Like just this demon inside of her, like literally comes out of her body and just starts choking out Hero. And then like out of nowhere, like once the demon side comes out, starts choking him out, this like moment happens where this flashback happens. And then like this part is actually where I got more invested into the show, because then it made me realize it's like there were a lot of like mysteries that happened in this show, but then like the moment this happened, all the pieces came into play. Once this demon came out and started choking on Hiro, they like for some reason like it like brought his memories back, and it like brought us to this flashback of what happened like years ago. Like long time ago, back when he was like a kid and whatnot. And apparently, back when they were a kid, Zero Two and Hero knew each other. They didn't. Matter of fact, they didn't just know each other. They were like close. And we basically get this little backstory where like you see Zero Two as like a child, and she's like a full-fledged demon. Like you see her with like red skin, sharp teeth, like claws, and like huge horns and whatnot as a child. And you see like her getting kidnapped and her getting tortured by the authority figures, like the head of the mech crew we already knew about. And you just see her literally just getting tortured to death and whatnot. And we now see Hero, who is like this like energetic person as a kid, and you see him like walk upon, like he's like walking, like doing his usual stuff, and he just got his pilot license, and you see him look through this window and he sees Zero Two, and he's just like, oh, what's happening over there? He sees her getting like tortured and whatnot, and then he sees him getting tortured, and he's like kind of like he feels bad for her and whatnot. He just feels like I need to save her. I need to do something. I need to save this girl and whatnot. And then like he like spies on her for a while, and then like goes on top of a tree, and then like sees her in her room. Like there's literally nothing in her room. Literally like, all right, here's the toilet. Have fun. That's it. That's all this is. Room. Everything else is empty. So like he like climbs up top, and then he like breaks his glass, and then he just says like, come with me. I'll save you. And then like Zero Two, and during this time like Zero Two, like she can always speak like a demon. She can't even speak English, but she's like, and then she like jumps out of the window and like grabs her and whatnot. And it sort of gives me like a weird like Erased vibe, where like kind of like how the in matter of fact Hero as a child kind of looks like the child from Erased as well. Where like during like the few episodes and whatnot, you see like Hero you see Hero and Zero Two like pretty much escaping through the forests in the snowy mountain, and you just see them like chilling with each other and just basically like surviving. Like literally like Hero basically like quit the mech team, and 02 basically just like left the authority team. So during this entire time, like they like it's like making me think like what happened after this. I'm just wondering like how did Hero come back to the mech team? How did 02 come back to the mech team as well? Like how did all of this happen and whatnot if they left and if they like abandoned everything and went to the forest to live by themselves and whatnot? Because during this entire time you see that their chemistry and whatnot, and then the authority figures come back and they find them finally, and then they arrest them, and then they kidnap her and they torture her even more, and then they literally put these things on them and wipe their memory. And then I was just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. And that's when all puzzle pieces came together, where like you remember in the beginning of in the beginning of Darling in the FranXX, he like lost his pilot license and he was like really depressed and whatnot. The reason he got really depressed and he like lost his pilot license and whatnot is because after he like lost his memories, after like the authority people like took away his memory and whatnot, he like for some reason he just got more depressed, and like he just wasn't as good as he was with his pilot license. Because like as a kid he was very energetic, but then like he became literally a completely different person after gaining that amnesia and whatnot. And like after that he was not as good as he was in a mech as he was beforehand and whatnot. And then like that's when all that happened. And then when 02 lost her memory, she barely remembered anything, but she did remember Darling. She remembered like someone calling him Darling, because Hero was the one that actually called her Darling in the beginning. And that's when she like knew like I need to find my Darling. And like it was like even though she didn't remember, she did remember someone was her Darling. And that's when like she somewhat had a feeling it was him, but she wasn't like 100% like correct. It wasn't until like they piloted the mech together where she kind of realized it and whatnot. And there was actually this moment actually like that actually like really like it actually came off as actually pretty like romantic in a way, right? I actually was like feeling this moment where like you see like after like the moment after the flashback ends, they like come to terms with each other and they like wake up out of the flashback, and they're like you just see like Hero's face is in shock and 02's face is in shock. We're inside the mech and they're just like,
I found you.
It's just, nah, it wasn't like that. It was more like it sort of gave me like a Steins Gate feel, like when like the intimate moment like Makase and like Okabe, where like they kind of like realized the moment that they like realized that it was that person that they were searching for all along was like right there, and they was just like, it's you. What the? Huh? They were like more like shocked and whatnot, and then they was just like looking at each other in like shock, and then they're like hugged, and they was just like. It like in other anime, I feel like it would have came off as cheesy, but it kind of like felt like the moment while I was talking about Blooming to You, where like when Toka confessed and then like that soundtrack played. It was sort of like that, where it was like that intimate moment where they're like, it just, and plus after seeing the flashback as well, it's just like they took everything from these people, and like you see them like finally like get together and realize it again, and then this is where like I'm gonna skip it up because I'm almost done. I just want to get to this point because this is when things get crap. Plus, like when I talk about my other anime, it's gonna be so quick that I might as well talk about this anime more anyway. So pretty much after this is when I got pissed off. Not at the show, but at Ichigo. Man, oh man. So we already knew Ichigo already had a thing for Hiro, when she was basically like her childhood best friend and whatnot. But man, they legit made her like, I legit think the writer made her the antagonist at this point, because literally after this moment, after Hiro and 02 like find out like what happened and whatnot about like their flashback, Hiro like out of shock like passes out, and then like when Ichigo opens up the mech, she sees like Hiro like passed out. She's just like, what did you do, Zero? You monster, get away from him. And then like take Hiro to a hospital, and then like after that like Ichigo like now like talks to 02, and she's basically like, no, you never talk to Hiro again. Stay away from him. Literally after they just both got their memories back, now Ichigo's like separating both of them, and now she's just like, no, you never talk to Hiro again. The only person he can talk to is me. And then like 02's like, no, let me talk to him and whatnot. And then it's like, no, you're off the squad. Didn't you hear? They voted you out. Nah, like that. But basically, like, she basically kicked 02 off of the squad as well, because now like they're like, she's like saying like 02 is a danger to like Hiro and whatnot. For some reason, after all the time they've been together anyway, but now like she's like she's now like 02's gotten kicked off a squad like 13 and whatnot, and now like Ichigo just gets worse and worse. And then like later on, we get this other moment where Hero is, oh, and this is the worst moment right here, where Hero's in the hospital and he knows that Ichigo doesn't want him to see 02. So now he's like, all right, guess I'll break out. So he breaks out, and 02 goes back to Ichigo, and literally, no, actually, it's actually better. Ichigo opens the door in Squad 13, and she sees every member from Squad 13 beaten up to a pulp, and you just see 02 just turn around, and you see her like stand up. She's just like, let me speak to Hero. So, oh, okay. So she takes. So Ichigo, out of fear, takes basically. So 02 is walking to the hospital now, and Ichigo like takes her there, and then Ichigo opens the door, and Hero was gone. Like Hero was gone because he went to go see 02, who doesn't know she's at the hospital right now. And 02, now seeing that Hero isn't there, thinks that Ichigo lied to her. He was just like, you knew he was out. You did this to deceive me, didn't you? She's like, no, I didn't mean it. And to be fair, she did. And she was like, no. And then like 02 starts choking her out. And then like Hero like, because like Hero's out now, he's like looking for like 02 and whatnot, and he realized that she's not at the house, so he goes back to the hospital. And then like when he goes back to the hospital, he goes back to his room, and he sees 02 literally choking the mess out of Ichigo, literally about to kill her. And then she's like, what are you doing 02, get off her or whatnot. And then she's like, no, you're acting like a monster right now, please stop this. And they're like, monster? And like 02 just like, at that point, just feels like heartbroken, because like at first like she wants to talk to him, and now she's like, he thinks I'm a monster. And then like she just like walks off and whatnot. And then that's when like the show just kind of gets like, I wouldn't say it goes downhill, but just gets like, it just get not dark, but just gets bad. It just gets bad in the way of like Ichigo, like Hero and 02's relationship. That's how it gets bad. Where like now there's like a lot of friction and whatnot, and now they're like kind of like going their separate ways, even though like they just got the memories back. Where 02's now walking back to Squad 13, and now like Hero just like kind of like left her be. But now like at this moment, Hero's now feeling bad about it. And as like the authorities now like taking 02 back, and they're like about to take her back to like the Special Force 9. You see like Hero like is hesitant. He's just like, I feel bad about this. No, I have to go back. But then this is the moment that gets me the most. This is the moment that really made Ichigo the worst character. This is when she became the antagonist for me. Where like Hero like runs back, and she's like, no, I have to talk to 02. And then Ichigo stops him, and then like says like, no, I don't want you to become a monster. Stay here with me. I love you, Hero. And then she kisses she kisses Hero. Huh? She kisses him and like stops him from going to 02. And then like Hero's like hesitant and whatnot. He's just like, and then like he's like frozen in his tracks and whatnot. And then she's like, no, let's go home. You're coming with me. You're going to be with me forever. I'm like, huh? And then he basically like stopped him and whatnot. I'm just like, you. This is when she became like Sakura level of like worst character at this point, where she basically like stopped everything and like ruined it for both 02 and Hero at this point. But I'll just skip away from the last one, because this is like the last one right here, even though it's other stuff and whatnot. This is where he gets to the last one. Like I said, when I get to the next anime, there ain't gonna be nothing I'm gonna be talking about for that one anyway. So we get to the last one right here, where we get this big moment happens with Squad 13, where there's these like load of monsters, and they had to go on this mission and whatnot. And they go on this mission, and also on this mission, all the other squads are also on this mission, including Special Force 9, the squad with Deku's character and whatnot, and 02 was in that squad. And during that time when they're on this mission, 02 just goes berserk, and she's just losing it out there. We're like literally like she's like killing monsters, but she's also like taking out some of the squad members as well. She's like, what are you doing, 02? And she's just like literally like going crazy and whatnot. And Hero's just like he's by himself. Like he didn't go on the mission with them because like he doesn't have a partner or whatnot. So he legit just like goes to the like the area where like all the monsters in the squad are at by himself with no mech whatsoever, and basically runs in there and just says like, no, please let me talk to 02. I'm the only one that can tame her and whatnot. And then like he goes up to 02, and everyone's just like well first everyone's just like, what, no, you can't do it, and then everyone's just like, and then 02 starts like killing more people left and right, and then they're just like, yeah, you can talk to her. This ain't going well. So they have like each go like talk to like 02 and whatnot, and then like she's basically just like calms her down or whatnot. And then like Hero's just like, no, I want you to go to the outside world with me. Please, we'll leave this be. And then like at first I'm thinking like, oh, well, I'm thinking it's gonna end up being cheesy and like it's gonna be like, well, be together forever. Like, I was like, nah, it wasn't like that. Instead it was more like, no, I hate them too. No, we'll make them rebuke the world. I'll become a monster with you. Make me a monster. Huh? That caught me off guard. And like, he like kisses. And then like Hero kisses like 02. You will know pain, true pain and whatnot. And then Hero ends up like hugging like 02 and whatnot. And then like they like bonded. And then like they like basically like created like, it's like the moment they like talk to each other, they create like the ultimate version of their mech, and it like evolved into this even stronger mech. And then like they legit just like wipe out all the monsters like one by one and whatnot, and literally just like one shots every single monster in the path. And then everyone's just like, oh, okay. And then literally literally like you see like their mech, and then they just sit like, don't follow us. And then like you legit to see like the mech leave, and then like that's where it like ends right there, at least for season 1, because there was a season 2 like more stuff and whatnot, but literally if I talk about that, there's way too much to talk about that one. Literally there's like marriage, the end of the world, and legit aliens. So I'm just like, yeah, I can't talk about that. There's like too much going on for that one. But all in all, I'd definitely say like it definitely improved, and like with the whole like flashback and whatnot, and that aspect and like everything connecting together, I was actually really feeling it and whatnot. So like I said that there were parts I didn't talk about, which kind of like turned the story off and kind of like made the pacing slow, but I'd probably at least give that like an 8 out of 10. It's like maybe I say like an 8.5 at least. I feel like it could be a little closer to a 9, but I feel like just those little filler parts, I felt like it was like these most like side characters where I'm just like, oh, I don't care about y'all, go back to the other people. And like those most kind of stopped there for being a 9. But any questions?
Well, I mean, you really just went over the whole thing, so
yeah,
other than soundtrack.
Oh yeah, soundtrack. Yeah, I used to say the
Downloaded?
soundtracks did get really good. Yeah. Like there actually are like a really good like soundtracks. Like specifically like there's like the main soundtracks that I remember specifically is just like that one where 02 lost her horns and like went like lashed out at Ichigo. The one where like the one when Hero and Ichigo, and like not Ichigo, not Ichigo, not Hero and 02 when they like realized that they gained both of their memories back, and like the moment where like Hero comes back and he's just like, no, make me a monster too. I don't care about these people either. I'm like, oh shit. Like, and a bunch of other soundtracks on top of that. But so yeah, there's definitely some really good soundtracks in there, definitely. So yeah. But yeah, anything else?
No.
Okay. But yeah, you can go to your next anime then.
All right. So this next anime is gonna take 2 minutes, and I'll repeat maybe 2 minutes. And all right. So this next anime is called Devilman Crybaby, and the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna send you the picture of the guy in the lab coat.
Right. Okay.
That's him. Yeah, feeling him. Yeah, I'm feeling him too.
Okay, let me see.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm feeling him. Yeah.
And this is his transformation. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Huh?
So, all right. So, let's get down to this anime. So, first off, we get to this anime, and the guy, Akira, he's walking up this hill, and he goes to the guy in the lab coat, who's like, why'd you do this? Why'd you turn the humans against us, demons against humanity and whatnot? And then that was when the lab coat guy, he pretty much said that you're not the only one who has a transformation as well. And then that was when he pretty much transformed himself until that I don't even know what that thing is. And then they pretty much went over this past of the guy in the lab coat, and he said he was pretty much going over the story. They pretty much pulled a Kaguya from Naruto, where they went over how demons were created. He was like, yeah, demons came from back when the dinosaurs were born, yada, yada, yada. And then that was when they were like, so pretty much demons were in the dinosaur era. And how they survived to this point was they fused with other animals. And that's how demons survived this long. And then, so pretty much that was when Akira, he had left. He was like, the next time I see you, we'll fight to the bitter end. So they literally left. And then like a few minutes later, he was like, all right, so you guys ready? He gathered his crew of demons. And they all went over there to go fight the guy in the lab coat. And that was when they were pretty much brawling and whatnot. They had like this quick fight where like Akira was losing like his arms and legs and whatnot. And he was pretty much trying to fuse with other demons to get back his body. Like each time he lost a limb, he like fused with another demon and trying to fight him, right? So pretty much around the end, Akira, his body was like cut in half.
Okay.
And the moon was pretty much, they pretty much ended this where, Akira, he was on the cliff. And that was when the guy in the lab coat, he was right there with him, made that weird looking transformation. And Akira, his eyes was closed. And he was like, just sitting there. He was like, Akira, what's going on? I think I feel something. I think I understood what you were trying to tell me all along. Akira, wake up.
Huh?
So he pretty much, he looked, he got him. You know that transformation I just showed you, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he got on top of Akira. He was like pretty much trying to lean his head closer to his boob. Akira, wake up. What's going on, Akira? Akira! And the episode just ended like right there.
What?
That was when the world just exploded. I was like, huh?
That's how it ended?
That's it.
I don't even know where to start with questions. Okay.
So, how'd you feel about that, the anime?
So, any good soundtracks?
I hate to say it, but there was only one good soundtrack. And yeah, just one good soundtrack. That was it.
Okay. Well, at least it was
overall. Oh, and here's a picture of how the ending looked.
What? Nah.
So, yeah.
All right. So, what would you say? It felt like a satisfying ending? Yeah.
This anime was a 2. Nah, this anime was a 1 out of 10.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
All right. You know, I will 100% get it. I get it. You know what? I literally got no other question at this point. Oh, I would say the animation get better, but from the picture, I don't even think I should even ask you that.
Especially this transformation. I'm like, is he?
You believe in God? Cause God, huh? Nah. All right. Yeah, I think I'm done with questions for right now. I guess I can go to my next. All right. So the last anime I have, which is definitely not going to take long at all, considering how much of a disappointment it became, is Kokkoku. Now, literally in the first 2 episodes of this tournament, this was literally the best anime on my list. And it legit started off really good and promising, where it had like these moments where like you see like they're like stuck in stasis, and like you can do a lot with a concept of like being stuck in a paused time, in a paused reality. And at first it started off like that, where like you had these moments where like you see these gang members like doing these funny things and doing things that like any person would do in a paused reality and whatnot. But then they started actually having a plot. And it was at that moment where I felt like, you know what? It was actually better when it was more comedic. Because the moment they started really focusing on the plot, it made me realize, oh, that's why there was so much comedy. Because they really didn't have much of a plot. This was awful. So we get the main villain. At first I had a really good look. Oh, that changes completely because and this way it gets even really more downhill. We get the main villain like talking to like his like henchmen and whatnot, and like for some reason his henchmen are turning on him and whatnot. And then like out of nowhere, his like the main villain like turns into this demon himself. He just says like, oh yeah, you know the demons in this world, you know, I've actually learned how to control one of the demons. Huh? And he transformed and like he looked like the Incredible Hulk. I'm just like, what happened? His entire image like looked terrible. I'm just like, you went from like being the best looking character in the show to like just like a big bulky green monster. I was like, what happened? Like that already like took points off. But then like we get later on where like you see like just like basically, matter of fact, the entire episodes is just like the Incredible Hulk. Cause after basically like the Incredible Hulk like saga with that dude, he ends up like killing his henchmen and whatnot that turn on him. He basically just like comes after Jury, the main character, and basically the last few episodes is just like everyone running from Sakura, who's now this big Hulk monster, and Jury is just like trying to take him down and whatnot. And then after Juri like is about to take him down, she like used her powers like to like pretty much like try to get him out of stasis. It doesn't work, but then like he evolves into this even stronger being. And at first I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he'll have a better transformation and whatnot. Maybe he'll improve and whatnot. Cause you know how like Aizen had those other transformations, they kind of look cooler and cooler and whatnot. I'm like, okay, maybe he actually gets like a better transformation later on. But then when he transforms, he legit becomes, he like falls into the sky. He like pops up and becomes, I wish I had a picture of this because I legit would have sent it to you as well. He becomes a motionless crystal in the sky, like just a rock basically in the sky.
So it's like that thing from Persona 5 where we're just fighting a chalice?
Yeah, basically. Like that's basically like that. Just a motionless diamond in the sky. And that's legit. I'm like, this is the final fight? He doesn't talk anymore. He doesn't even speak anymore. And legit, this anime now is just like Juri trying to take down this motionless diamond, just like pew 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 to like throw stuff at her. I'm just like, what the hell? What happened? This show used to be funny. Once the gang members died, this whole show went downhill. And then and at first I actually liked Juri at first as well. Like Juri seemed like she was actually a pretty good character. I liked her abilities, but then like once this happened, even she became sort of a bland character. It just got boring. Like the only good part of the show that came out of it was probably the last episode, because like after Juri takes out the diamond in the sky, thank God, Juri kind of like realized that like she can only take because she breaks the stone. I didn't even bring that up because there was so much other bad stuff that happened. She breaks the stone to go back into the reality because like she knew that like Sakura was probably gonna go back into like the regular reality and like kill everyone. So she breaks the stone, and now only Juri can send everyone else, like she can send her family and everyone else close to her out of the world except for herself. So now like literally you see this moment where like literally like she like pretty much like takes everyone out of the world, and you literally see what I like about the last episode though is that the last episode is literally actually really good, because literally except for the ending part, which is just like because literally during the last episode you see Juri by herself in stasis, and you just see days go by. You legit just see her by herself in stasis. And at first she like starts off just like, oh, she just starts like eating food and whatnot, just like goes to the store and starts like eating food and whatnot. And then like as like day 50 goes by, you see her hair getting longer, and then like you start seeing her somewhat get like timid and whatnot, and then she's like just like chilling and whatnot. She's just like, oh, I need to do something. What's going on? She just starts like walking around the world and whatnot, and she starts like looking at people and whatnot. And she's like, you know, like it's been like, and then like 100 days go by, and then she's like, you know what? I'm like 21 now. Let's start drinking. I'm just gonna start like drinking and whatnot. And then she starts drinking, and she starts getting intoxicated. And then she starts like doing some weird stuff and whatnot. She starts like looking at men. She's like, ooh. She's like feeling dude's body and whatnot. And then she starts like stealing stuff. Oh yeah, I can do whatever. I can like work out. I can run. I can break things and whatnot. And then like literally, as like the days went by, she started to go more and more insane. And that's what I did like about it, because like you just slowly see her go into madness, because literally, and I already knew this before, but like literally one person cannot be isolated from the world for that long, for over a year. It's kind of like being in a deserted island by yourself. You legit will start to hallucinate, and you'll legit start losing your mind. It's literally fact. You literally need somewhat of a social ground. You legit need to talk to someone, at least to that regard, for if you don't talk to someone for like literally more than a year, and you keep yourself isolated for that long, you'll legit go crazy and you'll start hallucinating. So, and that's legit what happened to her. She would just start hallucinating. She would just start seeing things and whatnot. But then like this like blonde woman showed up, and she was like the first person like actually like could like walk in stasis just like her. And she was just like, oh, you want to get out? I'm actually the creator of stasis. I'll get you out. And then like she like gets Juri out. She's like, oh, I'm free. And then she like walks back to her house and whatnot. And then like, and then she goes back to her house. They're like, Juri, you're home. And then that's where the show ends. And that's it. Like, yeah, that's it.
Huh?
So all in all, with a show that like I consider like an 8 that could have easily become a 9 if the plot actually like developed more, I would probably like give this maybe like a 5 or a 4, because it was such a letdown. Like I'm like legit disappointed considering how like invested I was in the show in the beginning, because that was just what happened. That was just Yeah, nah, that was just so. Any questions?
Ah, I got nothing to say.
Yeah,
At least it lasted longer than my anime.
yeah, at least give it that, because I did like the last episode too, and she was like slowly going crazy. Like, I don't know what would have been a satisfying ending though. Like literally seeing her like lose her mind completely. Like shoot, at that point, I would have taken a depressing ending. It would have been like not Fate
ReZero?
Zero, ReZero, like da na na na. I was like, oh, huh? That's how it is. Like it could have at least gave me that chill. And I was thinking it was going that route at first, but then like she gets free and she's like, guys, I'm home. Jury. What? All right. And I was just nah. But nah. It would have been better if it did go a depressing route. But yeah, probably like 5 out of 10. I only give it a 5 only because the beginning was like entertaining, but then like it just went downhill. But I guess we'll do the categories now. All right. Favorite character out of the 2 anime you've seen?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with the main character, Megalo Box.
All right. For me, yeah, probably still 0-2 from Darling in the Franxx. I definitely say she was definitely still like the best character of that show. All right, worst character out of the 2 anime you've seen. Ichigo, without a doubt. Oh my god, she became hateable. Oh my god, she's like on the same list as Sakura now. She was horrible.
I want to pick that kid, but at the same time, I want to pick that guy in the lab coat because that was just like, what? What is this?
Which did you hate more? Did you hate the guy in the lab coat or the "It's Joe, you can do it, Joe"? The singing.
They about equal, but I'm gonna have to give it to.
So would you say it's a tie?
Uh,
Or can you pick which one infuriated you more? Which
I'm gonna have to go with the guy in the lab coat.
Okay, guy in the
That
lab
was
coat. All
just
right.
I don't know how I feel.
Got you. All right. This one's easy. All right, best story out of the 2 anime you've seen.
I guess I go with the Megalo Box.
Yeah, just by default. Yeah, Darling in the Franxx, 100%. At least that didn't go downhill. Like, man, Kokkoku was a little let down. All right. Best soundtrack out of the 2 anime you've seen.
Soundtrack.
Yes, you have to pick one, even if they both were bad.
I guess I'll give it the Megalo Box because the ending thing that I sent you.
Oh, okay. All right, for me, Darling in the Franxx, 100%. Literally, all the tracks from Kokkoku it like worked in the beginning, but then they just became bland. It's just like I didn't care at all. Anyway,
It's like when they did with Persona 5.
Basically.
They played that same thing over.
yeah, it really was like that. It was just like, nah, I wasn't feeling that. All right, anyway, best animation out of the 2. Devilman Crybaby, yeah, nah. Darling in the Franxx, 100%. Yeah, that animation got really good.
I give it the Megalo Box.
All right. Best atmosphere out of the 2 anime you've seen.
I give it the Megalo Box.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Still Darling in the Franxx. Like, atmosphere. Finally, Kokkoku would have won that, but then after that downhill, I'm just like, I don't care. That was awful. But all right. Next, best episode overall out of the 2 anime you've seen. You don't have to say a specific like number if you don't remember, but just like what that episode had.
Yes, I'll still give it episode 2.
Dang.
Megalo
Just
Box.
all the way
You
episode
met
2.
The guy in the hood.
It never reached the same. It never reached the same leap as episode 2. For me, probably episode. I think it was episode 11 of Darling in the Franxx, where like that's when they like it was after the flashback and they like realized they like remembered everything. 'Cause that legit did like kind of get me a chill and whatnot. That actually was like a really good scene. So yeah, I'll probably give it to that. And our worst episode overall out of the 2. I think I know what you're gonna pick for that one.
Devilman Crybaby, that last episode with like he just looked like somebody that could have been like your right hand man, like a Zoro or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they like did that horrible heel turn, and he just looked. Why did he turn into a girl?
Yeah, that was just nah. All right. For me, shoot, it might be a tie. Probably like episode 8 through 12 of Kokkoku, because they were just so bad. Because literally after episode 8, it was just like, all right, now we're just gonna go downhill. It just like became like a huge downward slope, and I'm just like, what happened? This ain't the same anime. It's just like, yeah, I'll probably just give it a tie for all those episodes. Maybe not episode 12 because it got good after that, but even that ending was lame. So yeah, just all those episodes after episode 8. All right. But now this is the big one right here. All right. Which, even though it's gonna be a shocker, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to pick. which anime out of your two is anime of the year?
That thing was nominated. That thing was nominated. No, it was Megalo Box.
It's like nominated. They both lost. There is no best anime. Yeah, you said Megalo Box, right? I was like, Devilman Crybaby, huh? No, I'm kidding. All right. And for me, Darling in the FranXX won without a shadow of a doubt. I knew it was winning right off the bat after that. Yeah, that was just, I don't know what happened with Kokkoku, because for the longest time, for like the last 2 episodes when we did the podcast, that like Kokkoku won, and then like Darling in the FranXX came out of nowhere and got better, and I'm just like, well, at least got one good anime after this, but it still wasn't on the same level as like the last anime that won of anime of the year. This one just felt more like, yeah, this is anime of the year because all the other anime were trashed, and that's basically how it felt. Oh, but I definitely feel like Tournament 4 is going to be a lot stronger. I already feel that one. So anyway, guys, we can wrap this up now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click that like button, and we will see you for Tournament 4, which we are going to be talking about anime of 2017. So this is Michael.
This is Taylor.
And we will see you next time